Hello everyone, welcome back to Nails by Sora. Welcome to anyone who is new. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day or evening, whatever time of day it is for you. This video is going to be another cartooning video, as you know by the title. And I'm actually having a lot of fun with it. It's always a little bit of a daunting venture when I first start out because you never know how it's really going to turn out. But I feel like I'm getting more and more comfortable with each video that I do in this manner. It's funny. I remember vividly when I was young. I don't remember how old I was, but we were in Atlantic City, Wildwood, I believe, if you're familiar with the area. And we were walking along the boardwalk, and we stopped in at a shop and picked up a coloring book of Disney characters. And I had trouble. It was basically tracing, if I remember correctly. And I had trouble. I had this really bright gel red glitter pen that I wanted to use with it. And I had trouble doing the cartooning. And my mom actually finished one of the pictures for me. And that's something that's always stuck in my head. But I've always had a love of art. I have my Bachelor of Fine Arts in computer graphics and animation. I was originally a painting major, and then for various different reasons, it just never panned out. I never went that route. I ended up going into computers and then into the pastry arts, and now I'm kind of going full circle back to cartooning and drawing and painting. So it's been a lot of fun finding my feet again and transferring my love of art to a different medium and trying to really scale down my work to fit on nails, which still having a bit of a trouble doing, or I should say a bit of a hard time doing, because I always like to replicate things as is. I'm very, what's the word? It's an A word that I won't use for fear of being censored in this video. But I always want to replicate things exactly as is. So the images that I'm referencing are full body shots of Bugs Bunny, of Daffy Duck, Elmer Fudd. But because it's such a small medium, I could only really fit in their portraits, which is fine. I may in future videos get the really long square nails and just use those nails for these cartooning or art pieces. But I really had in my mind doing a film strip, and originally it was going to be in black and white, and I know I didn't make note of it. I was gesturing towards the nails when I first painted them, that the middle one, the black, wrinkled in the lamp, and I don't know what's going on with that. I make sure that when I'm using black, I do really, really ultra thin layers, and I cure for at least 90 seconds. And sometimes even before the light goes off, I extend it for another 60 seconds. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's my lamp is starting to go off, which it shouldn't. It's less than a year old. But you never know. It's a lamp I got on Amazon, and I actually have a new lamp on the way. I'm very excited. Actually, by the time this video posts, I will have it. I'm going to do a comparison video on different lamps, or at least the lamps that I have, and see which works better. But I digress. Back to actually the topic of this video. I wanted to do it in black and white, but I thought, especially doing Daffy, having him outlined in white kind of looked weird to me, kind of like painting a negative. And I really felt that his bill should be orange, so I ended up doing it in full color, and I really love the way they turned out. But I kept this portion of the video in because I wanted to illustrate that I don't always get it perfect on the first try. Like I said, I need to scale it down quite a bit, and I was having trouble getting the features in properly and aligning each feature with the other And actually, I was quite surprised when I was doing Daffy. Usually I don't, and you'll see the way I tackle bugs later. I usually don't start with the outline because I have trouble getting the dimensions accurate when I do that. Usually I'll fill in the negative spaces. Well, not really the negative spaces. I'll go for large patterns and I'll fill that in, like the shape of his head above his bill, then the bill itself, and then like I'll get those large swaths of color in, and then I'll outline it after that because I feel like I can get the shapes better than I can get the outlines. So it really surprised me, and I was quite proud of myself that I managed to get his outline in and have everything line up um, mostly the way it actually is in the reference image. His expression is a little off. I didn't get like the direction of his eyes and the squint of his expression quite well. It looks really good at this point, but later on when I go in and I fill in the little lines and the creases in his face, it kind of got distorted a bit, and he looks more sheepish than he does angry, which is fine. He has all the personality that I could want to give to him. He's my mom's favorite character from Warner Brothers, and I'll probably end up revisiting him later on. But I do kind of like the way that he was turning out in black and white. I just felt like I needed to really fill in his bill, and I didn't want to do it in white. Um, I felt it needed a little something extra, so I did decide to go full color with the characters themselves and keep the film strip in the negative. So now we're continuing on with Bugs Bunny, my favorite Warner Brothers character. And this is actually the third attempt at doing Bugs. I did try to start with the outline like I did with Daffy Duck, and it just wasn't happening because his ears take up so much space. I just couldn't get his whole face and neck in the frame. So I ended up erasing it and deleting that footage and just went in with drawing or I should say filling in the shape of his mouth and his head and then putting in the ears after the fact. And his ears did turn out a little small. They're a little distorted, but I think overall it came out really well. I really love the final outcome. So on my palette, I'm mixing They're all Madam Glam colors. And I'm going in with the white and the black specifically are the gel paints, and then the other colors are a mix of gel polish and gel paints in the pot. And sometimes when I'm doing painting on nails, I like to mix the two mediums because the gel paints are really quite a bit thick. And aside from them potentially not curing properly when you go paint in thick layers with them, they go out. If you thin them out a bit, it goes on a lot more smoothly and you can get better coverage. So I tend to go back and forth and mix them a bit. But I will have all the details for all the colors and the products in the description box below. And I don't really get a lot of feedback, so I would love to hear any suggestions that you all have for upcoming videos. It doesn't have to be for cartooning, it could be tutorials, watch me work, dip process, gel process, any viral techniques that are out there right now that you'd like to see me tackle. What do you want to see? This channel is kind of a mishmash of whatever idea I happen to have in the moment. It really doesn't have any specific direction for, I do dip colors or I do gel colors or, I just do painting. I try to do a little bit of everything. And if there's something that I see that strikes my fancy, then I feel, well, if I'm interested in it, maybe you all are. So, what do you want to see from this channel? What ideas do you have for me to tackle next? I would love to hear it. Please put it down in the comment section below. If you have any comments or questions on this video, either my technique or the products I'm using, also put that down below. And please, I would love if you would like and subscribe so that I can continue putting this content out. I am not sponsored at this moment. I am not monetized. So I would really love to have the feedback and the engagement as I continue to build this channel. So you can't have Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck without having Elmer Fudd, because those three go perfectly like a ham and cheese sandwich. And if you don't like ham and cheese sandwiches, I'm sorry, it is the only reference I was able to pull out of my brain in the moment. But as I was saying, Elmer Fudd, I'm not going to lie, he kind of started looking like Popeye when I first started drawing in his features, which maybe that will be the subject of another cartooning nail video. We will see. Maybe a little bit of olive oil, maybe a little bit of Popeye, maybe a little bit of spinach. We'll see. We'll get there. But I do think he turned out relatively well in the end. I was able to match his skin tone relatively well, which that's something I haven't really tackled yet in paint. Even going back to my history with just drawing with pen and paper, I generally use charcoals or um, um, lead pencils because doing it in color kind of makes me nervous. But I think I did a pretty good job with the color overlay, and I got enough of the of his hat in frame to really give off his presence and to say that it is Elmer Fudd. Didn't get his rifle in the shot, but that's okay. We know who it is, and Elmer Fudd is going to wrap up the three cartoon characters for this manicure. So that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you so much if you made it to the end. If I could change one thing about it, I would have put Elmer in the center as he's the foil for the two characters, Bugs and Daffy. But because I pre-drew the film strip and I wanted them to connect, he could really only go at the end. But I do love the way the characters turned out. I did finish them off matte because I feel like the characters shine better that way. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you again. Please give me a like and a subscribe, and I will see you soon.